These stories are inspired by the actual case files of the Office of Scientific Investigation and Research.
We should have spent another night at the shelter.
Yeah, but then we couldn't have been alone.
I like your thinking. Come on, let's go. Come on.
All right. Let me find some food.
Hurry up.
Okay. Look, supper.
You're disgusting. Come here. Oh, Darren, do you have to?
Just want to make the ride a little bit smoother.
The deceased is a well-developed, although undernourished, Caucasian male in his early to mid-30s. He has red hair. Although the corneas are cloudy, he appears to have blue eyes. Body is 74 inches long and approximately 160 pounds. Early rigor mortis is evident in the extremities. There's a single scar in the lower right quadrant of the abdomen from previous appendectomy. Extensive damage to the fingertips and nails of the victim. Numerous needle marks in the left arm. Subject could be a drug user. I'm going to secure a blood sample for drug and alcohol tests.
What happens to us when we die? This primal question both tantalizes and terrifies us. Now, different belief systems choose to answer the question in a variety of ways. But as the OSIR was forced to consider in case number 763139, could it be possible for a man to rise up from his grave and cheat death entirely?
Now, once more from the beginning.
Phil, that John Doe you brought in here tonight was anything but dead.
Sally, this is nuts. The guy had no pulse, no breathing, no nothing. He was stone cold dead.
So, let's find him then. He's not on the table. Is he in here? No. Is he up here? Wrong again. He's over here. No.
Sally, come on, calm down. You sure you're not having me on?
I want to say it's not possible, but he sat up and looked at me while I was examining him. He looked right at me. Threw me is more like it.
File number 763139, initial log entry. Case manager Connor Doyle. First team and mobile lab confirming arrival on location to investigate the alleged reanimation and disappearance of a deceased man. On-site inspection and preliminary interviews underway.
He was lying right there. I had him prepped for an internal exam and he just woke up. I guess I must have fainted or something because...
She wakes up with a nasty concussion, and I'm getting a call saying the corpse is gone.
Had you determined a cause of death?
Not yet, but I suspect an OD. He had track marks right up his arm.
This is what he looks like. Our photographer took these in the alley where we found him.
That's him, all right.
Have Miles run an analysis of this soil sample? Is there any idea who the deceased was?
No wallet, no ID. His description didn't match any of our missing persons lists. The kids who discovered the body were heavily into drugs, so I don't know if I believe them.
But?
They thought they'd seen him around town. Then their story gets a little weird.
Like I told the cops, we were just looking for a place to crash, and we found him.
I almost sat on him.
And you're sure he was dead?
Yeah, man, I've seen dead guys before. And that dude was gone.
He smelled worse than Darren here. So gross.
Look, I'm gonna have to ask you this. Were you on anything on that night in question?
Hey, man, we were straight. Straight and clean.
Okay. And you didn't know the deceased?
No, I mean, we couldn't have.
He sort of looked like a guy we'd seen around the streets or shelters. Larry or Gary, maybe?
Yeah, it's not possible.
What's not possible?
The guy we're talking about, we heard he died, like, 2 weeks ago.
Can't be the same guy. Can it?
According to Miles, the soil sample from the morgue contained a high level of lead content. So that narrows it down to a couple of industrial areas in town.
Hope it leads us somewhere. Right now we have witness testimonials and not much else.
Not quite. There's something I want you to hear.
Okay, we're queuing it up.
What is it?
It's Dr. Torrance's autopsy report on the John Doe.
All set?
Go ahead, Paul. Numerous needle marks in the left arm. Subject could be a drug user. I'm gonna secure a blood sample for drug and alcohol tests.
Sounds routine.
Hang on a second.
What's happening here?
That's where she stated that she passed out. Now listen.
Help me, please. Help me.
So our purported corpse can not only walk, he can also speak?
Sounds like some of the men I date.
You had the tape analyzed?
Absolutely, and it doesn't appear to be tampered with.
That still doesn't rule out the fact that this could be a hoax.
Well, agreed, but what would she gain? This kind of notoriety wouldn't help her career.
Did you play the tape back for the witnesses?
Mm-hmm. And nobody recognized the voice. Our John Doe is still a John Doe.
Case log update. I've directed Hendricks to undertake a discreet door-to-door of the surrounding area in an effort to identify the missing body. Next transmission in 12 hours.
Darren, Melissa, long time no see.
Aubrey, this is Anton.
Hello. Well, you don't look like you need a hot meal, but as the sign says, all are welcome.
It's a nice thing to know these days. Hey, is that chicken gumbo?
The best in town.
He's got that right. We're gonna get in line.
Go right ahead. So, Anton, what can I do for you?
Well, I'm trying to locate a friend. He's missing. I talked to the police and they haven't been able to help.
Well, I don't know exactly how to say this, but your friend, he looks dead.
Yeah, well, the lighting's not the best. Does he look familiar?
Well, it's hard to tell. We get a lot of folks through here, you know.
I understand. Well, say, is that an Assan?
Oh, you've got good eyes, my friend.
Yeah, I spent some time in Haiti. That was years ago. And now, who's this?
Let me introduce you to Samuel.
It's quite the beauty.
Well, he's been a bit jumpy lately.
Those things over on the wall I recognize as well. Are they yours?
Oh, those are Adelina's, my sister's. Some customs are hard to leave behind, but, you know, I can't complain. She's the cook that keeps everyone coming back.
Do you mind if I look around for a while? I might find someone who recognizes my friend.
I'll go to a man.
up?
No. I don't think I'd get many answers if I asked.
Hey, hey, hey.
You're really smell.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Ah! It's him!
I don't believe it.
Help me. Please. Help me.
Case log update. Our investigation has led us to the discovery of one male individual who has been positively identified by 2 of our witnesses as a missing corpse. Other witnesses are en route for further corroboration. Doyle, out.
Connor, thanks for coming so fast.
This is too freaky. That's the guy.
Are you sure this is the same man that you saw around town?
Could somebody explain to me what is going on here? Did that man do something wrong? Because Aubrey's kitchen's on the up and up. We don't hide criminals from the law.
It's all right. Nobody's accusing you of anything.
Aubrey, are you sure you don't know him? Because he goes missing, yet he comes here.
Look, and man, I don't know. I don't screen people at the door.
Thank you, Aubrey. We'll be as quick as we can.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll be in touch in a few minutes, okay? Thanks. Darren and Melissa identify him as the man they found in the alley, the body. And yet he doesn't recognize them. He's like some lost animal, disoriented, confused.
Did he tell you his name?
No, unfortunately.
How's he doing?
Well, at first glance, he appears to be suffering from profound dehydration, malnutrition, and cachexia. But on the positive side, he's alive.
Don't be afraid. We're here to help. It's all right. You understand me?
Yeah.
Do you know your name? Do you have any family?
I don't know. Who are you people? What are you doing to me?
We're not gonna hurt you.
Sorry. Let's get him back to the lab. We're here to help.
Side, please.
Bring his coat here.
I've completed his physiological assessment.
What about his eyes? How do you explain their lack of colored pigmentation?
It could be the result of a severe bacterial infection. I'll be running further tests to confirm the cause.
How is his physical condition?
Well, he's responding to the IV. If he looks after himself, I expect a full recovery.
Connor, I think we found our man.
What have you got?
A voice print analysis matches his voice with the voice heard on Dr. Torrance's autopsy tape.
Good work. Anything else?
We were also able to determine a match between a soil sample taken from the morgue's examination table and a sample taken from the subject's clothing. Take a look.
Any idea where it might be from?
You're gonna like this.
I don't like it here.
I know what you mean.
We want you to find out who you are.
But just between you and me, I don't want to be here any more than you do. Let's take a look around, okay?
That's encouraging. This is the first sign of any recognition of a place we've witnessed so far.
The graveyard. What a place to recognize. Lindsay, did you double-check those test results?
40 years ago, Leaside Cemetery was built over an industrial complex. The lead levels are 100% match. Come on!
Carrie Edwin Hicks, February 20th, 1962 to September 2nd, 1996.
I want a full environmental assessment done of this area.
Why? What is it?
This hole looks like it was dug out from the inside.
Are you Carrie Hicks?
I can't. I don't know. But I know this place. I was here.
Who wants to do the honors? There's no echo. There's something inside it. Here goes.
There's no body.
That's not all. It looks like somebody tried to claw their way out of here.
I didn't handle this file. It was my colleague's, Dr. Cornwell.
Looks like your John Doe was, in fact, Carrie Hicks.
It's impossible. This death certificate is dated September 2nd.
And the cemetery confirms his burial on September 5th.
According to your testimony, Detective Ross here, this same man was brought to you on September 15th, nearly 2 weeks after he was buried.
That's him, all right. How can this be possible?
Are you okay?
Yeah, sure.
I see you're back at work.
Yeah. But I'll tell you something. Every time I go to cut open a new arrival, I hold my breath.
Case log update, 1600 hours. We've decided to return the subject, Carrie Hicks, to what seems to be his natural environment. I'm hoping this will trigger something in his memory and allow him to remember what happened to him over the past month.
Man, I don't like this. Is he all right?
All we can determine is that he's lost and alone, Aubrey. If anyone should understand the situation, I thought it would be you.
Okay.
Thanks. We'll continue to monitor the situation. Okay.
On the far left is a photo from the external autopsy of one Carrie Hicks taken September 2nd. Background checks list him as a drifter. No fixed address, no living relatives. He was buried in Leaside Cemetery on September 5th.
The photograph in the middle was taken on September 15th by Detective Philip Roth when our subject was found in the alley. The one on the right was taken yesterday.
By all appearances, it's the same man who was pronounced dead not once, but twice. Although his system is now clean, he was a user of narcotics. Perhaps he overdosed on some designer drug or form of street heroin and was mistaken for dead.
How do we explain his apparent escape from the coffin?
The missing panel was found inside the coffin, under the dirt. Now, it's possible that Carrie could have used a mole-like action and pulled soil inside the grave, thereby tunneling his way out. It's improbable, but not impossible.
Anton, in your report you mentioned zombification. Can you elaborate?
Well, the term is a bit dramatic, but zombies are believed to be people who have been poisoned and appear to be dead. After their release from the grave, they have no memories and little or no will to resist the will of others.
Well, what could cause that zombie state?
The primary known active component is tetrodotoxin, or TTX, a poison obtained from the pufferfish. It can paralyze a person's neuromuscular junctions, making it very difficult to detect signs of breathing or a pulse.
So who might be responsible for administering this drug or potion, and why?
Well, to the followers of voodoo, it's the Bokor, a kind of witch doctor. And he or she selects the victim, usually as a slave.
Professor Doyle, we have a situation developing at the homeless shelter.
He was lying here all morning. We thought he was sleeping, but...
Case Manager Connor Doyle, final log entry. Our autopsy of Darren Talbot revealed the cause of death to be an apparent drug overdose. And although we discovered evidence of voodoo practice at Aubrey's kitchen, subsequent investigation found no conclusive evidence that Aubrey or his sister were responsible for the poisoning, apparent death, and subsequent reanimation of Carrie Hicks. Doyle out.
In the 1800s, in some places, it was the custom to fit coffins with alarm bells in case the deceased awoke after burial. Was Carrie Hicks the target of a cult using voodoo pharmacology? Was he affected by a designer drug with an unexpected side effect, or was he merely the victim of a premature pronouncement of death? Perhaps in some instances, the medical requisites for the death certificate may not always mean that a life has ended with finality.
It's a TV movie, Jackie. It's not Citizen Kane.
Yeah, but come on, to go from actor to director is a very big jump. Local boy makes good.
Well, my days as a romantic lead are almost over.
Excuse me. I'm the one who's 30 years old. I've got 2 years max to do something with my career. Otherwise, they're looking for the next 23-year-old. So, I really appreciate you giving me this chance, Kevin.
Hey, it's gonna be fun to work together again.
Yeah. I don't know how you convinced the producer.
No. He didn't need convincing. He's a big fan of the Julie Bright movie.
Yeah, well, everybody's a big fan of the Julie Bright movie, aren't they? Good night.
Good night.
Mwah. Oh. Can you pass me my bags?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll see you on set.
Yeah. Drive carefully.
Sleep well.
Thanks.
Hi, sweetheart. Call me. It's your mother.
Jackie, Gavin, running a little bit late. I should be there at 5. Love ya.
Jackie, come to the church. We must meet.
You can't be here.
What's wrong, Jackie? Jackie, what's wrong?
He's back.
Stay here. Stay here.
Jackie Kinley was a B-movie star, admired and even loved by her adoring fans. Recently, researchers have studied pheromones, which seem to be associated, among other physiological functions, with the love experience. But could such a biochemical process turn adoration into an obsessive, all-consuming, and malignant force? In the following case, the OSIR discovered just how far one fan would go to pursue his object of desire.
Let's work through this. If Corbin Dean was there, how did he get out of the house?
I don't know. That's what Gavin and I can't figure out. You know, Ruth, I can't believe this is happening again. I mean, I don't tell anybody where I'm going anymore. Nothing. So, how does he know where I'm going?
Did you call the police?
Yeah. He's supposed to be in prison, isn't he?
Yes, he has one more hearing before the parole board. Are you absolutely sure it was him?
Yes, it was him. He doesn't have a beard anymore, but it was him. At least I think it was him.
You can come to me anytime. If you see him again, whenever.
Thanks, Ruth. You have another appointment now, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Well, thanks for letting me barge in like this.
We're gonna get through this.
Thanks.
We got through it the last time.
Yeah. God, I hate Julie Bright. Hi, Gavin. It's Jackie. Listen, I'm running a bit late today, so if you want to call me on my cell, okay? Thanks. Bye.
Case Manager Connor Doyle, initial log entry file number 569135. We're beginning an investigation into a reported recurring apparition. We've been referred to the case by a colleague of Dr. Anton Hendricks, psychiatrist Ruth Godwin.
With you soon, I promise. Finally, this will all be over. It's not gonna happen anymore.
And yet I was caught by one thing in
Classic stalker pathology. Adoration becomes obsession, obsession turns ugly, rejection becomes violence.
And violence turns into 5 years, aggravated assault and attempted murder.
Am I right in thinking that no one other than Jackie Kinley has seen the apparition?
That's right, on 2 occasions.
Anything further from Beaconsfield Prison?
Well, he was being transferred from the prison pending his final appeal to the parole board. The prison authorities assure us that he's somewhere in the system.
Earlier in the tape, the psychiatrist mentioned something about Corbin Dean stealing from the subject.
That scene that you were watching in the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he stole all the props from that scene. The dress, the wedding ring.
That was filmed locally.
Mm-hmm.
It's the latest on this answering machine message.
A voice print analysis indicates that it does match the voice of Corbin Dean.
Yeah, but the tape is 4 years old, so conceivably the message could have come from the original stalking.
So is this apparition Corbin Dean or someone who looks and sounds like Dean?
He was clean-shaven then. She wasn't there, and yet she knew that he had shaved off his beard. I was at the hearing. How could Jackie possibly know that?
I think Corbin Dean saw the movie 65 times. It's a trade-off. When you're a public figure like this, you have an identity in people's minds that's totally outside of your control. All kinds of weirdos and groupies come out of the woodwork, and they want to be your best friend.
Who knows what they think? 3 years ago, the night he assaulted me, he was basically waiting outside my house to kill me. Whether he knew it or not, that's what he was doing. And essentially, I think that's it. This isn't going to end until one of us is dead.
The initial environmentals have turned up no anomalous energy fields.
We found various prescription medications in Miss Kinley's house: Valium, Prozac, lithium.
Prescribed by the psychiatrist? Mm-hmm. Which suggests to you that Miss Kinley could be delusional?
Possibly, but it doesn't really fit her profile. It seems more likely that she's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, which is intensified by her fear of success.
Fear of success?
Yes, I think there's a link between Jackie's fear of success and her stalker anxiety. She doesn't want success, because success brings stalkers.
And the sightings began the day she learned about being in this new movie.
Exactly.
I think that we should remember 3 years ago it took Corbin Dean breaking into Jackie Kinley's home for anyone to believe her.
This is from Beaconsfield Prison. Corbin Dean won his appeal and was released 2 months ago. Apparently the board failed to file notice of his release. This is the last address his parole officer had for him. Anton, take a security operative and stay with Jackie. Lindsay, you're with me. It looks like Mr. Dean is out there somewhere.
No, that is not how it went. That is not how it went at all. What if I saved that last line and I say it to him over my shoulder instead of in bed? That feels more natural to me.
Just give me a second, okay? Jackie. Kevin, napkin, please. Are you okay?
Yeah. Thanks.
You want to take a break?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Case log update. In order to establish the exact whereabouts of Corbin Dean, Donna and I are en route to his last known address.
This is it?
Mr. R.K. Kelly. Mr. Kelly? Mr. Kelly!
Look at this. Variety. There's a section missing. It's where they list new productions, their locations when they begin shooting.
Mr. Kelly!
It's open.
Neatness is not one of Mr. Kelly's strong points. Can you believe someone lives here? Now what?
Easy.
I think we found the right address.
Case log update. Donna and I have just returned from the trailer of Corbin Dean, where we recovered some personal effects linked to the character of Julie Bright, a role the subject made famous in a film 5 years ago.
Well, according to the prison doctors, Dean has been in the advanced stages of heart disease for quite some time. Due to the fact that he had a massive heart attack, the parole board decided to release him on compassionate grounds.
I guess their compassion didn't extend to Jackie Kinley.
Now he appears to be restocking our subject in a manner that defies explanation. How did he get onto a movie set without being noticed?
Yeah, how did she drive her car right through him?
Lindsay, the items Ms. Kinley reported missing, were they all recovered from the trailer?
Everything but the prop wedding ring.
How is she?
Deteriorating. This ordeal is beginning to take its toll.
Initiate 72-hour on-site monitoring with the subject in the controlled environment. Surveillance cameras, microphones, closed-circuit night vision, and thermography. When he comes again, however he comes, I want to be ready.
Think I'm crazy yet?
No, not yet.
I would. God, I guess if I stopped laughing, I'd go insane. It would be funnier if it was anybody else. Any news?
No, we're going to be setting up additional equipment inside over the next 3 days.
Sure, you can have the whole house. You can move anything you want.
And we'll need you.
Oh.
Is that going to be okay?
Yeah, sure. I have to face this and deal with it myself. Otherwise, it's going to own me for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nicholson, do you read?
I read, over.
Perimeter secure?
10-4, all clear.
Subject on biostats?
Underneath your clothes. She's approaching the front door now.
How we doing?
Normal readings.
He's here.
What's she saying?
Professor Doyle, there he is. What do you want from me? There he is. Do you see him?
I can't detect the phenomenon she's encountering.
Do you see him?
Physiological response?
There he is! Can you see him? There he is! Professor Doyle, please come in here.
Nicholson, Sector 5 in the house. Meet me there. Jackie? Let's get Miss Kinley to the lab. Done or any more readings?
No, nothing now.
What exactly was it?
Electromagnetic variance.
What range?
30 gigahertz.
Frequency that high? Be picking up satellite TV. I don't know if we're gonna find anything more here.
I don't understand how someone could have got in. We had the house sealed off. I stationed someone at every door.
Unless he was in there to begin with.
If there was something in there, it didn't have any mass, any scent, any sound, any temperature.
Incorporeal.
Yet Jackie maintains it was Corbin Dean. Any theories?
Well, it's frustrating. Jackie is the only one to have seen him. It's almost as if this were a subjective haunt.
Subjective haunt?
Subjective haunt theory. An entity in crisis broadcasts a telepathic signal to a subject who in turn casts the impulse into a tangible form, but without physical evidence.
Turns the telepathic signal into an hallucinatory apparition.
However, that doesn't apply.
Unless Corbin Dean is dead. Lindsay, the trailer we found the Julie Bright items in it was rented to an R.K. Kelly.
That's right. Raymond Kelly?
And October 16th, my God. That's tomorrow.
Case file update. Further investigation indicated that the church set for the marriage of Julie Bright was largely intact. Jackie Kinley has agreed to participate in an unconventional experiment.
Jackie?
You all right?
It's finally over. It's not gonna happen anymore.
Everything okay? Jackie?
Yes. Thanks for letting me do this on my own. I really appreciate it.
The letter explains everything. It was about atonement, at least in his eyes. He was giving back everything he had taken from her while he was alive, completing what he needed to do.
And knowing that he was going to die, he put himself in the film. Bizarre. But it's consistent. That film was his whole life. It became his death, too.
Did we get an exact time of death?
The pathologist's report put his death on October the 4th. It's the same day that Jackie received his phone call.
Leaving the phone message was probably the last thing that he did.
Lindsay?
I was just thinking that Corbin Dean was obsessed with Jackie Kinley's character, but it was just an image projected onto a movie screen. And in turn, it was Corbin Dean's apparition, his projected image, which terrorized Jackie Kinley.
Final case log, file number 569135. As per OSIR protocol, we've gone ahead with field flux termination and eradication procedures at the subject's home, even though no more audible or visual sightings of the apparition have been experienced by the subject. In fact, as of last week, Jackie Kinley has essentially returned to her normal life.
Great work, Jackie. Thanks for the day. I'll call you later.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Julie! Aren't you Julie Bright? I mean, the person who plays her?
Yeah.
I love your movies. Could I have an autograph?
Sure.
What becomes of our consciousness after death? Although Corbin Dean was clinically dead, did he actually project himself in a non-corporeal state? Or did his presence only exist in Jackie Kinley's mind? Whatever the answer, working with Jackie, the OSIR was able to effectively terminate this subjective haunt. I'm Dan Aykroyd for Sci-Factor.
These stories are inspired by the actual case files of the Office of Scientific Investigation and Research.
What have you got?
Male, African-American. Gunshot wound twice in the chest.
Universal precaution, double glove. Can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me?
Vitals dropping fast. Respiration irregular.
Trauma 1 now. Guy got a name?
Rollins.
Curtis Rollins.
Start a line and O2.
BP's dropping. 70 over 50, 60, 40.
Run some saline, prep a chest tube.
Pulse is thready. We're losing him.
Who's Rollins thinking of?
What's the difference?
Going up on the bridge all alone. No backup. It shouldn't have happened.
Ray, he's dying.
Flatline. Paddles. Up it to 300. Charge. Clear.
Nothing. Going again. Stand by.
Clear. What's going on with the lights?
Lost main power. Switch to backup.
He's back.
Has anyone seen Curtis Rollins? Curtis Rollins, he was just brought in here. Anybody? Curtis. Curtis!
Is it possible for a spark of life to endure after death? It's difficult to dispute the multitude of testimonies from people who have been pronounced clinically dead and then are revived and claim to have undergone some form of out-of-body or afterlife experience. Did they discover the light? In the following case in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis-St. Paul, the OSIR confronted the most radical and dangerous manifestation of a near-death experience it has ever encountered.
Maintenance to the psych ward. Maintenance to the psych ward.
What's going on?
He's here.
Excuse me. Are you another cop or family?
Neither. Frank Helsinger, Director of Operations, OSIR.
Sorry. Could you give us a minute?
Sure. Don't be too long.
What were you thinking? Shot twice? No official backup? No clearance from me? What happened last night?
I'd like to say you should see the other guy, but I can't remember who the other guy was.
Tell me everything. Omit nothing.
We were wrapping up a case in the North End, and Curtis got a call. He started acting strange.
Said something important had come up, and he left. Just like that. It's not like him, so Tash and I decided to follow him. We ended up at the bridge. We were a ways off. The guy shot Rollins twice, climbed up on the superstructure of the bridge, and he jumped.
Jumped? From how high?
30 meters at least.
He couldn't have survived.
I see. Anything else?
Go
on.
I could have sworn that I saw Rollins, well, or somebody who looked like him, walking out the door while Curtis was still in Trauma 1.
Anyone else see this?
I'm tired, and eyes are probably playing tricks on me.
Look, what's going on? I mean, what happened here tonight?
I just spoke briefly with James Kirkland from the Federal Serial Killers Profiling Unit. Rollins spent some time there a couple of years back.
Curtis was FBI?
Behavioral science. They tell me he was good.
Getting into the mind of a psycho. It's a hell of a thing to be good at. What's the connection?
Well, I'm sure you've all heard of the White Crow Killer.
Yeah.
From what we can piece together, the White Crow Killer was the man who shot Curtis Rollins last night.
Jim, didn't expect to see you here. I thought you'd be taking the kids to hockey practice.
Frank, it's been a while. How's Curtis?
Looks like he'll pull through.
How's his wife taking it? She's doing as well as can be expected.
We informed her it's an internal matter, and she'll be brought in to see him as soon as we can clear up what happened.
Well, what happened?
The White Crow had been quiet for 2 years. And 2 bodies show up in the Twin Cities area over the past month. Curtis Rollins and the White Crow in the same town at the same time. Too much of a coincidence. Curtis likes to know the current status of the files he's worked on, so...
Are you sure it's the same killer as before?
Same scumbag victims, same telltale markings on the chest, same cause of death.
Induced cardiac arrest.
Followed by a single shot to the right temple after they were dead. The ballistics is double-checking. But those slugs they took out of Rollins last night?
9mm.
I'll lay 100 on the table. Right now, they match the slugs found in the White Crow killer's victims. Maybe that bastard died when he fell off that bridge last night.
You found a body yet?
The current's pretty strong this time of year.
How did Rollins end up facing off with this maniac?
I don't know. He didn't tell you?
Not yet. He appears to be suffering from an extremely selective form of amnesia. We hope it's temporary.
Well, that's inconvenient.
I let Curtis down, Pete. Damn, I should have followed my instincts.
It's not your fault. Hey, pull over. Stop right here!
What is it?
Could have sworn. There. Curtis! Curtis! You saw him, right?
I don't know, maybe.
Where'd he go?
Couldn't have been Curtis. There's no way. Let's go.
There's only one way to prove that I'm not losing my mind. I don't believe this. I swear to you, we saw him outside on the street not half an hour ago.
Then you must be mistaken.
He hasn't left this room, Peter. I've been here the whole time.
Did you get the tape? Yeah. Is it cute? Yeah. All right, let's see it.
This tape is from hospital security.
Where are you going with this, Axon?
There, that's when I arrived. Now watch. There, freeze that. This videotape was taken at 10:54 p.m. last night. Curtis was still in Trauma 1 at that time.
Initial case log entry, file number 206132, case manager Connor Doyle. We've arrived at St. Paul, Minnesota to begin investigation into an unexplained occurrence involving a member of our organization. We'll be meeting with the Director of Operations for debriefing and directives as to how to proceed.
Connor, good to see you. Rollins has been shot. He was declared clinically dead, then he was revived, and is now thankfully recovering.
He also seems to be in 2 places at one time.
Apparently. Now, I've decided to assign Donahue to your team. What with Jim Kirkland and the feds still here, you're going to need a law enforcement specialist.
What about us?
What can we do to help?
You two can go back to wrapping out your original case. Doyle and his team will take it from here.
But we were the...
You are both witnesses, or potential witnesses. Let's face it, Axon. You're too close to this one.
I see. Sir.
Their contributions to an investigation are usually invaluable. Is Rollins aware of my presence on this case?
It's your investigation. He is your primary subject.
But he doesn't know.
I'll leave that for you to handle.
I heard you were being brought in.
How you feeling?
Like I got kicked in the chest by a horse.
I guess you get what you ask for.
I guess. So, someone who could be my twin is roaming around the Twin Cities.
First things first. What were you doing on that bridge?
Killer called me. I don't know how he found me, but it was him. He issued me some type of a challenge.
Why did he call you? Is that consistent with his pattern?
His pattern? His pattern?
Based on what you know about the White Crow Killer, what might he do next?
I don't know. What's going on here, Doyle? Why can't I remember?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
How long was Curtis Rollins clinically dead?
Nearly a minute, I'd say.
And when you and Dr. Burr attempted to revive him, did anything unusual happen?
Something affected the electricity on our floor.
When exactly did this fluctuation occur?
When your friend was flatlining.
The White Crow Killer case has been open for half a decade now. 5 bodies in and around Los Angeles. But the killer hadn't abducted a new victim or dumped a new body in almost 2 years. And last month, out of the blue, 2 new bodies.
Here in St. Paul.
Followed by the discovery of those same abduction victims dead.
Now, as a behavioral scientist, Curtis Rollins had assisted you in the investigation of the White Crow Killer.
He was one of the best at tapping into the mind of a serial killer. He likened it to your mind being like a computer hard drive. You store information in a variety of files. The White Crow Killer occupies one of those files in the mind of Curtis Rollins.
What kind of information was in that file?
How the killer thinks, what the killer wants, understanding his insanity.
It's a pleasant thought.
Well, some of those files, one that contained the profile of the killer, you can't erase them when you're done with them. You just try and close them and forget about them.
Now, there was always approximately a week between the day someone was abducted and when their body was discovered. What was the killer doing with the abductees?
Conducting some kind of medical experiments. There were strange markings in the chest, needle marks, IV puncture holes.
But to what end? Discover the light.
Curtis felt the killer was trying to discover some truth about the afterlife. Where we go when we die.
Case log update. While we wait for subject Curtis Rollins' MRI results, Hendricks will be taking him through regressive hypnosis to obtain a real-time description of the shooting and his subsequent experience in the emergency room.
I want you to go back to the night that you were shot.
Approaching the bridge. There. He's here.
Who?
The man who called me.
The White Crow Killer?
It has to be. No one else would know.
Describe what happened next.
What did you discover? Where do we go?
Where indeed? I'm just glad to see we truly understand each other.
Understand each other? How can knowledge of life after death be as important as life itself?
I know what I need to know.
What are you doing?
As a crow flies, I must end my journey. You want the answer, don't you? Goodbye, Curtis. I wish you luck.
I'm shot. Everything is going dark.
Curtis, you're going to be fine. Everything is fine. Now, I want you to go forward in time to later that night. You're now at the hospital. Tell me what's happening.
Very noisy. Lots of people shouting. It's so loud. That's better.
Up it to 300. Charge. Clear. Nothing. Going again. Stand by. Charge. Clear. What's going on with the lights?
I'm leaving myself. It's over.
Describe what you're seeing.
I'm floating high above everyone. Part of me is outside myself, watching myself. The light is so beautiful. It's getting brighter, blinding me.
What's happening?
Goodbye, Curtis. Goodbye, Curtis. Wish you luck.
He's gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
The doctor saved me, but I'm still... part of me, not me, but... I'm still out there somewhere. And
And what?
He's taken something from me. From my mind. Something he shouldn't have.
Suffering from select amnesia, I could not access his profile of the White Crow killer. It seemed to have vanished completely from his mind. Secondly, he described a near-death experience. Now, that in itself is not unheard of, but the notion of his corporeal self duplicating.
And now we have at least 2 reported sightings in the city of someone matching Curtis's description.
Not to mention the hospital security tape. Is it possible he could have just wandered out of his room and not told anybody?
He's been under security watch and hooked up to heart monitors since he was admitted.
I suppose Rollins could have a twin somewhere.
Oh, he would have told us about something like that.
Well, we just have to treat him like any other subject.
That's extremely difficult to do, Connor.
Tell me about it. Excuse me. Where can we find Dr. Burr?
Her office is down at the end of the hall. She should still be there. I dropped off some charts to her about an hour ago.
Thank you. Key seems to be what Rollins went through in the trauma room. I want to hear Dr. Burr's version of the events again. Case file update. A witness to the events, Dr. Catherine Burr, was apparently abducted sometime between 9 and 10 this morning.
A rag doused in chloroform was found on the floor, and that is the killer's signature phrase, complete with feather. Let's face it, the White Crow killer is still alive.
The feather will be sent out for analysis, but I'll bet it's just like the others.
A crow feather?
Except crows are black, as far as I know.
Why a white crow feather?
Crows are sometimes perceived as symbolic bridges to the afterlife. If you wish to upset the law that all crows are black, you must not seek to show that no crows are. It's enough to prove a single crow to be white.
William James, very good, Professor.
Our killer may have discovered a white crow.
A symbolic bridge. Look, What's different about this crime scene?
The handwriting. It's a good try, but it doesn't look like an exact match.
So, this could be a copycat crime or the work of an accomplice?
No, the killer's MO was that he worked alone. Besides, this signature phrase was never released to the public.
No appointment scheduled for today.
Doesn't appear to be any sign of a struggle either. Dr. Burr may have known her abductor.
Or at least got a look at him. Her desk faces the door.
Wait a minute.
What is it?
There.
Very clear. Looks like our feathered friend left us a thumbprint.
This could be the break we've been waiting for.
Yeah?
Some kids were throwing rocks when they found it. Forbes. Dr. Stanley Forbes. Early on, he was a prime suspect for the White Crow. He's our man.
Are you sure?
Well, the slugs they dug out of Rollins last night matched the bullets found on the previous 7 victims. And we found shells on them. 9mm. They're consistent with the White Crows.
Looks like Dr. Forbes here has been dead for a couple of days.
Which begs the question, who abducted Dr. Catherine Burr?
Jim, could I have a word? There's a possibility that one of our operatives
Okay. Those fingerprints we lifted from the doctor's office?
Let me guess. They match Curtis Rollins.
Case log update. We have reason to believe that someone resembling Curtis Rollins is imitating the crime pattern established by the White Crow killer. Environmental monitoring and surveillance phase to be initiated immediately.
Special Agent Kirkland is feeling some pressure from above.
How so?
As far as his superiors are concerned, Rollins is now a suspect in the abduction of Dr. Catherine Burr. Now, he doesn't think it's possible, but professionally it would be his duty to investigate. Now, due to the personal regard he has for Curtis, he bought us a couple of days. Get to the bottom of this.
What are you thinking?
Well, if we can assume the White Crow killer will act consistently, and the apparent Rollins duplicate is continuing with the killer's agenda.
Then we have until Thursday to find Dr. Burr alive.
Catherine, I want you to relax. As I'm lowering your body temperature to 33 degrees Celsius, I'm going to induce cardiac arrest via an injection of potassium, in effect, killing you. Because your blood is being cooled, brain damage should be minimal. But I don't have to tell you that. After several minutes, I'll raise your body temperature and hopefully resuscitate you. And then We'll talk again.
Why are you doing this to me? You were dead. I saved your life.
Exactly. And that's why you, of all my subjects, should be able to tell me what I want to hear.
You're crazy.
And now, we wait.
This is the videotape that was found on Dr. Forbes after they dragged him from the river. He'd wrapped it in plastic and addressed it to Rollins.
Obviously, he wanted someone to find it.
Focus, Darnell.
The victim is Darnell Jenks. He was a drug dealer from the east side. His body was found 2 weeks ago, 3 days after this tape was made.
He's essentially killed Jenks and now is bringing him back to life. Why?
Listen.
Will we be punished for our sins? Is there life after death for the likes of you and me? What did you see?
I don't know.
What did you see?
It was dark. I don't know. What do you want to hear?
What did you see? What did you see?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, Catherine. I understand. I realize I'm asking a lot of you. I had hoped that as a medical person, a good person, you would provide me with a better class of observation. Maybe you weren't away from us long enough to truly discover what awaits one after death. You take a little break and then try again.
No! No!
Nothing! I saw nothing! There isn't anything out there! You disappoint me.
What are you doing?
You can't stop me, Doyle. Don't even try.
Like it or not, Curtis, you're the primary subject. You're under FBI scrutiny as well. Besides, you're in no shape.
I can do the job.
Once you recover.
Look, I don't like being left out of what's going on. I don't like being examined. I don't like being probed. And I don't...
What?
I don't like how things are progressing.
We're moving as quickly and as deliberately as we can.
There's someone out there who appears to be me in every way, who may be killing people. It's my life that's on the line.
That's why I'm on the case.
Can I help?
Yes. What makes this guy tick? Why does he do what he does? What's his next move?
Don't you think I would tell you if I knew? That part of my mind is a blank. It's gone.
Then you'll have to refamiliarize yourself with the case. Here's the file. You're a behavioral scientist. You have that skill. Use it.
How's he doing?
Well, we're about to find out. What is it?
Physical and psychological trauma that Rollins has suffered. I'm concerned as to whether he'll ever be able to effectively lead an investigation again.
I'm aware of that possibility, sir. But we need his help.
Understood. Special Agent Kirkland can't stall his superiors much longer. How are you planning to proceed?
Rollins at 4. Curtis has reviewed the evidence collected by the feds and watched the videotape. He has some theories.
Dr. Forbes was looking for definitive knowledge about the afterlife.
To what end?
He was obsessed with looking for the answer he wanted.
But apparently his experiments failed. He's killed 7 innocent people.
Not so innocent. In Forbes' eyes, these were people that were essentially evil. He chose them because they represent part of the answer. However, Dr. Catherine Burr doesn't fit the pattern.
But if your duplicate abducted her, and he now has the mind of the White Crow killer, perhaps it's some form of revenge.
Revenge?
Maybe she wasn't supposed to bring Rollins back from the dead.
Look, theories are getting us nowhere. How are we going to locate Curtis's double?
Curtis, you okay?
Come on, let's get you back to the hospital.
Case log update. Continue to sweep the city and try to locate the apparent duplicate. Have established environmental monitoring and surveillance at the hospital. Subject is resting and remains under observation.
We're standing by, Connor. Nothing to report. Over.
Copy that. Any word from the other surveillance sites?
Negative. Should we reevaluate our sweep approach?
Not yet. Let's give it to the end of the day. Doyle out. Curtis. Surprised to see you up and around.
Thanks.
What's the matter, Curtis? Donner, who gave Rollins permission to leave his room?
He is in his room, Connor. He hasn't left it all day. There must be some mistake.
Target is in the East Wing. Surround the area.
Nice and slow, my friend.
Where are you taking me?
One thing at a time. Let's just get outside.
Put the scalpel down. Slowly. Do it now!
Case log update. After successfully apprehending Curtis Rollins' duplicate, we are proceeding with tests to try to determine how and why this phenomenon took place. An additional note, Dr. Catherine Burr has yet to be located. Doyle out.
It's remarkable. They're physically identical in every way, other than the wounds Curtis received from being shot on the bridge.
And their separate personalities. Rollins had compiled a detailed profile of Dr. Forbes, a.k.a. the White Crow Killer, and somehow the near-death experience transferred that profile to his duplicate self. And the duplicate himself, in effect, has become the White Crow Killer.
Forbes's mind in Roland's body.
Any theories as to how the duplication occurred, or why the profile went with the duplicate?
Perhaps he subconsciously was motivated by a desire to uncover whatever Dr. Forbes had discovered about the afterlife.
And the only part of his mind that would be able to achieve that discovery would be the profile of Forbes.
Exactly. Somehow he subconsciously manifested a corporeal duplication of himself, imbued with that memory.
Well, what do you suppose Dr. Forbes discovered about life after death?
That would remain with Dr. Forbes, or Rollins' duplicate.
Or with Rollins himself.
I was dead, and now I'm alive. Sounds bizarre to hear me say those words, doesn't it?
That's what happened.
I feel I should be different. Am I different?
Only you can answer that. Something did happen to you while you were clinically dead.
What exactly?
It may have been some timeline convergence which intertwined the distinct physical elements of two parallel dimensions. Your near-death experience may have propelled an alternate life existence into the here and now. However, we have no idea what might happen
if those two parallel dimensions converge.
We need your help. Talk to him, one-on-one.
I don't know.
Catherine Burr may still be alive. You're her only hope.
Professor Rollins, good to see you again. Where is she? Direct as always. Dr. Burr. I can't tell you that. You should understand that better than anyone. Why would I understand abducting an innocent person and subjecting them to horrible experiments? Your mind understands more of that kind of thing than you'd care to admit. Plus, doesn't it intrigue you? I know it intrigues you. What does life after death hold for us? Why did this happen? Why have I duplicated into you? I'm part of you. We had to complete my work. It's so simple. The part of me and you realized when you were dying that I was going about it all wrong. I was using the wrong subjects. Evil people. Unprincipled, immoral, waste. But when that angel of a doctor saved you, we realized she was the key. She would have the answer. You and I did this together. But there is no answer, is there? You found nothing. That's not true. Yes, it is, Dr. Forbes. You've searched and searched. You've killed people. And all for nothing. My work is not for nothing. Then why did you commit suicide throwing yourself off that bridge? Because I can't believe that the answer is you're better off dead than alive. Stop. You are a failure. All your work is for nothing. No. No. No!
Okay?
Where'd he go?
He's gone. Curtis, who am I?
Still Connor Doyle, I hope.
He's gone back into you. Go to that part of your mind. Where is Dr. Catherine Burr?
much time.
Try to warm her up.
Charge.
Clear.
Nothing.
Going again. Come on. Come on.
Charge.
Clear. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Come on, Catherine. Come back. 5. 1, 2, 3. No! You did it. She's back.
Catherine, can you hear me?
Get away from me. You sick son of a bitch.
Dr. Burr, it's okay. We're here to help.
File number 206132, final log entry. Dr. Catherine Burr is on her way to a successful physical recovery, although her experience left her emotionally shaken. Curtis Rollins is also showing no apparent ill effects. Doyle out.
The complex links between body and mind are only now beginning to be understood, and we still have more questions than answers. Somehow, an exact physical copy of case manager Curtis Rollins was generated in the instant of his near-death experience. Furthermore, the corporeal duplicate presence absorbed the memory which was foremost in his mind at the moment of trauma, that of a serial killer he'd been tracking with near-deadly results. Is there life after death? The search for the answer continues. I'm Dan Aykroyd for Sci Factor.